Diego, out of YouTube. Welcome Thurston County to the Farmhouse. At our show today, good news over coffee with Jimbo Jitsu. Before we get into the good news, a little bit of contrast I want to share, and if anybody can help out, that'd be appreciated. Our major sponsor for the barbecue cook-off fell through this year, so we don't have a prize that was donated last year or the plans to have the event at their location. Oddly enough, it isn't a poor economy for them. They're too busy to have us in their parking lot. So it's good news. The economy for them is doing well. However, we were without any barbecue prizes, and that's one of our 10 dates. So who knows what we're gonna do with that? But I just found that out. Got some contrast headed my way. Good thoughts, at the very least, are appreciated. Good news. We've got possibly the Holy Music Awards will be part of the barbecue cook-off, which will help both charity events out, and then as one of the entertainments is a dance company. Talking with them about doing stuff, so that's good news, and possibly making a video with them too, so that would be more good news. I'm taking that DJ class. This is kind of Delphi Farms charity combined thing. It's just me too for fun, but we were doing the class and we were going around who we are and why we're there, and Angie said she was there. She didn't want to be on the radio like me. She just wants to do the technical stuff, and then it was my turn, and I said, well, I really don't want to be on the radio either, and I gave a little bit of history about who I am, and I just say, I want to see a sustainable talk show and local music show. We combine these things together. Let's get those artists that are putting out some great music airtime, and let's get some conversation about sustainable solutions. So I don't like to be on the air. I didn't like to be in front of the camera, but I overcame that, and now I'm going to be on the radio with possibly my own show in a few months. And so I just told them that's why I was there, and I thought it was time we started the sustainable revolution. We had the industrial revolution. It's time to replace that. And when I was done, everybody applauded, and that really surprised me. It was a good feeling. And, we talked a little bit about the charity, the barbecue circuit. On another side, I was able to get out I had a horrible stomach ache this weekend, but I was able to get out on the tractor. I figured if I'm going to just sit around and be miserable, it's kind of where you just go, ugh, every 5 minutes. So I went out on the tractor and I rototilled the raised beds while I was miserable. So we got some more soil worked in. It's good because we're breaking sod. It had been a garden, but grass had been growing over it for 5 years. So that was good for the charity. Need to get some plants started so we can have some transplants. And the Eco Village, one component at a time. I believe we are now in that garden section outside the center hub. There's the power and water tower with the circular building under it. It has the light industrial, those things. And then the little market outside of that, and then the garden beds, raised beds. And they're intended to be a combination of agriculture and aquaculture. So some of them will be ponds of water flowing, and that will be part of the water purification system, and others will be earthen beds that will have plants growing in them too. So this will be ringing the center building, and from there you would have your actual one circular road in the village. And while I'm thinking about it, made up this nice big tabloid flyer talking about the garden program, and I don't know if any of you can see what's obviously wrong with this, but at a distance you really can't see anything. Up close you can read everything really well. At arm's length there isn't a word on here you can't read, but at 5 or 10 or 15 feet away there's nothing that draws you to this poster itself. So I need to come up with some sort of a word or graphic or something that will get people's attention. Just something I wanted to share in case you happen to have to make a poster. Today's goals. Shucks. Well, after such great news, I'm just going to work on solutions like trying to get that website up and going, and Got some cleaning up around the house. I think that's a good project for today. And got to make sure that that rib roast gets defrosted. We're going to be cooking up the rib roast with Heavenly Hog. Decided to cut it into steaks. Then we're going to be using Knox Spice right here. Yep. We're going to be using some Knox Spices on the different steaks, so we'll cut them up. We're going to do the Farmhouse style where we get the coals out, get them red hot, and then we put the grate right on the coals, and then we put the meat on top of the grate. Now I've tried it the rough and scruff way, and I really don't like my meat on the coals. Coals are too hard to get even, and that'll create burn spots where some part of your meat will get more done, or a piece of coal will stick to it, and then you're batting it off. With the grate, the coal doesn't come through the grate, so you don't have that problem. So that's how we're going to try the Farmhouse style steaks with the Heavenly Hog, Steve and Marianne from Heavenly Hog, and that's going to be a great dinner this week. And I am thankful for friends, family, new networks, and people helping out with the entire sustainable movement. You know, it's feeling good. Doing the radio station, the radio show has been something that I've been antsy about because I'm really not excited about being on the radio myself. In a 2-hour show, I'll only be having 18 minutes of sustainable talk. And of that, it will probably only be 3 or 4 minutes of me asking and prompting people questions. So I can be more comfortable with that. The rest of it's PSAs and other public announcements. So I'm thinking I have a friend that will help out with that. So I can be really comfortable about being the DJ and not having to talk a lot. Playing lots of local music, interacting with people, and getting that sustainable movement out there. And the good news about the radio station, you can go to chaos.org, I believe it is, KAOS. You can listen to it online, so anybody that's a YouTube subscriber of mine or fan or follower or whatever you have it can check it out online. And I'm thankful for seeing that progress happening and being able to spend more time with my wonderful wife. My wonderful wife. In today's gardening tip, we'll cover the seed starting process. Most vegetables, not all, a lot of vegetables, not all, can be started indoors. And if you use the soil blocks I talked about earlier, which is just a seed starting mix, it's wetted and compressed it into a little block, you put a seed in it. It's you keep it indoors under like a fluorescent light where it's a low but constant light, 18 to 20 hours a day, and you keep it at about 65 to 75 degrees temperature, and that seed will germinate in a few days as opposed to a few weeks outside, because you're able to keep the moisture and the heat perfect. As soon as it germinates, you take the soil block outside, and here's the new tip. You dig your hole, and I like to use a bulb digger because it makes a nice small hole. You put some fertilizer down, organic fertilizer in the bottom, and you stir that up, and you put a little bit of dirt on top of it, and then you put your seed there. And you want to have a little bit of a divot, except on squash, or on most plants, but you don't want to get moisture around squash. So you have a little bit of a divot, so if it does rain, it naturally brings the water towards the center of the plant, and it keeps it moist. It also helps with the dew factor, keeping it moist. Always use a divot when you're planting. You don't want your roots up above the ground. You want them down below the bed a little bit. Don't cover the stalk. So that's the gardening tip for the day. Seed starts directly in the ground, much easier, quicker, and then direct sowed seeding. Some things you can't do that with. That's our tip for the day. Bye, Diego. See you later, YouTube. Thank you all for watching. Y'all come back now. Here. Oh, where can you see this?
good.
So we're not cooking anything up. Let's edit that out. Hi Diego! Howdy YouTube, and welcome to our show today, the Farmhouse Show with good news over coffee with Jimbo Jitsu. Let's edit that again. Gardening tip. Well, we're going to pause and get back to that.